Hey, what's up, family? This is Mental Stimulant, and I'm coming through with a little message. And this message is for the spiritually woke, but also those that believe in things outside of themselves. This is not for the closed-minded. Because I'm very aware that a lot of people they feel comfortable in believing that certain things are not real, because for whatever reason, it's hard for their mind to comprehend of there being otherworldly beings other than just human beings, and they have no comprehension of the spiritual realm and how relative it is to our everyday life and how much the spiritual realm and the natural reality is really meshed, so this is why I say this is for the spiritually woke or those that believe in things outside of themselves. I think that it's a choice. Some people are so closed-minded they couldn't fathom some things, the type of things that storybooks are made of. You understand? We always thought that the things in the storybooks, Cinderella, all the rest of them, fairy tales. But how close are fairy tales really to actual occurrences? I don't think people really consider this. But anyway, I was being urged today to press on the subject of spiritual protection of your children. It keeps coming up and it keeps coming up and it keeps coming up. Because the children are the closest to the Creator. It's because they are younger. They were with the Creator, in the more recent past. Their energy, their aura is pure. Now, I don't see much nowadays, but then again, I don't really be around a lot of people because my energy is so sensitive. Like, I go through so many things experiencing others' energy that sometimes it's overwhelming. It can directly affect my mood. I gotta constantly remind myself to keep my vibrations high, which isn't always easy to do. But anyway, that's neither here or there. But I shared a video on my community tab of a young infant child sleeping in a crib, and the cat was in the room with her. She was being spiritually attacked, and the cat could see it. You know what I'm saying? Animals and babies, children can see things we cannot. Well, most cannot. And it's for so many different reasons. A lot of us, although we're awake in this 3D realm, our spiritual man is asleep. And that's for a lot of reasons. To keep you unaware. To keep you in a state to where you cannot protect you and yours. To keep you naive to what's really going on. To keep you in the dark. What better victim is a victim that's unsuspecting? There's so many organizations, so many cults and covens that capitalize on ignorance of other people. We believe this when people be saying things that seem unreal to us. We're very quick to call them crazy. And most time they're not the ones crazy. Anyhow, I shared that video because this is going on a lot. It's rampant. It's been going on. It's just that there's no longer a veil, and a lot of people have woken up in stages. The chosen people are woken up in stages because the chosen are messengers. The chosen are meant to wake up the others so they can protect themselves. The chosen are sent here to help. And the chosen get attacked so much. You see a lot of suicides. You see a lot of people talking about people following me and et cetera, et cetera. It's going on because they're saying things that people don't want them to say. The powers that be want to stay in power because the generations and everybody, well, a great deal of people are asleep, ignorant and naive. Most of us have been lied to our entire lives. Things hidden under the guise of religion. And I can't say lie to. They just spin the truth to fit their narrative. That's why most Bibles are worded the way they are, because the average man is not going to understand because they're spiritually asleep. The verbiage is thrown off. No one speaks like that. But I don't want to get it on that. That has nothing to do with it because the Bible is powerful if you know how to use it. But they have manipulated things so bad to keep to keep our defenses down. Most of us was only taught basic stuff as far as religion, the Bible, and everything else is concerned. It's always to fit the narrative of the patriarchal system. Now, I'm going to get back to the point because I tend to try to put a lot of information in what I'm saying all at once. And I want to stick to the point. The point is a lot of these children, kidnappings, spiritual molestation, spiritual rape. A lot of these children don't go missing for no reason. And it's not really on a pedophilia type level. It's deeper than pedophilia and sexual gratification. It's about the spiritual assets, because through sex is where all of our blessings and everything lies. That's where our true energy source is, our sacral energy. That's why a lot of people love young people. The younger the better. You know why? Because their energy is more pure. They haven't been, so to speak, tainted and ran through the mud by having so many people inside their vessel. You understand? It's not per se being a virgin, but the younger you are, the less encounters you have had, technically. Okay. I shared the video. I think that you guys should scroll through the community tab and look for the video of the child in the crib with the cat. Pay attention. Now, I'm going to bring light to something else that everyone has seen and brushed off. Everyone has seen and brushed off. You ever wonder why children, infants and babies are always looking around when there's not a physical person there? That's because there is a person there. The children looking all up at the ceilings. They're looking at stuff that's there. You just can't see it because your eyes, your spiritual man is asleep. Theirs is not. You'll have an infant sitting on your lap and they just giggling away. You not playing with them or nothing. I've seen this happen over and over again. They just be giggling away. And that's because they have visitations from their family that has passed on. Big mama that passed on. Oh, she coming to see her grandchild. Don't think because she not in physical form, she's not there. She's there. Children are a blessing, are meant to be a blessing for any family. Some of the children are brought here and meant to do great things. But because these children are not being spiritually protected, a lot of times they never even live into their purpose. They never even wake up. The older they get, they start to lose their spiritual eyes because they start to become tainted by the world. They start consuming the foods that we have, being exposed to the air that we're exposed to, being exposed to the water we're exposed to. They're being stripped of their purity the older they get. Now, some of these visitations that they have in their sleep are of a siphoning objective. They're being spiritually attacked and stolen from while they're asleep, unable to protect themselves. Now, mind you, everyone has spirit guides, angels, especially people that are meant to be great or to do something in this world. They come with a team of protection. But that does not mean that you don't have a big part to play in teaching these children how to pray. Different methods to protect themselves spiritually. We teach these kids karate, all of this other stuff, different things to not be accosted and stuff like that. But you're unaware of how to protect themselves spiritually because most of you don't know how to protect yourself spiritually. You're disarmed. And it is your job to teach these children. You have these children and then throw them out to the wolves, so to speak. And most people that are spiritually inclined of a darker nature, they're around you every day. They see how naive you are and unaware of spiritual things. Your best friend could be sitting right there in your face every day playing with your children and attacking them at night in their sleep, siphoning their energy, their life force from them, their blessings from them. I can't even say that, nowadays, man, things have changed so much since the real big mamas have left. Not these grandmas that's present now. Because half of them don't know nothing, respectfully. And I'm only saying that because it's the truth. Because a lot of us have been lied to. And most people don't want to go against the grain. They don't ask questions. A lot of us, whether we admit it or not, have been sitting in church, reading the Bible along with the pastor, trying to figure out what something means. Of it just not 100% clicking for us. And then the guidelines of them sticking to certain narratives, but not really going into depth about spiritual protection. They teach you, have your Bible, pray, and that's it. I was listening to someone else to say how much they spoke down on tarot and how that's of the devil and crystals and all these things is wicked. It's ignorant. It's very ignorant because they speak against the absolute things that are also here to help you protect yourself. Crystals come from the earth. Real authentic crystals, they come from the earth. Why do you think that is? Anything that's from the earth was put here by God to sustain us. Food, medicine, everything that we need was here free. There has always been mystics in the church. Pay attention to the Vatican. They have their own mystic and different spiritual things. But they don't want the rest of the world, the masses, to know how to protect themselves. You know why? Because most people in power have got their wealth and things by spiritual gains. Siphoning and stealing from the sleep and blind. And I'm going to give a trigger warning because so many children go missing, never to be seen again, and everybody chalk it up to, oh, some pervert then took them or something like that. It's deeper than that. Even under the aspect of a lot of these people that have these perversions, they are possessed by something else. They're not even themselves to do these heinous things. People go into agreement with things that are not natural. No one knows what the next person does in the dark when they're alone. No one knows. It's always the people that are very unsuspecting, that live very traditional, quote unquote, traditional lives. And they be highly spiritually involved. And no one even knows. How you can have your auntie that's into witchcraft and voodoo. That's how she snagged her husband from some other lady. And everybody stays so surface level like, it's so retarded because most people say, dang, she took his man. Yeah, but she had help. She cheated, so to speak. Because people that do witchcraft, voodoo negatively. Because witchcraft and voodoo in itself is not negative. It's by the intention by the person that's using it. So please let me be clear. But people learn these things and they use it negatively. And it was never meant for that. You put anything into the hands of man and they will corrupt it. Back to my point. These children need protection, man. Most of your children are not living up to their potential. Most of them have destinies to be great leaders, speakers, and all of these other things. And then be subjected to and dulled down by electronics, frequencies of the negative type. Because there be negative frequency underlying in the music and everything else. And most people have their children on these electronics because they don't want to deal with them. They just want to keep them subdued and quiet. You leaving your children out here open and victims to all kinds of stuff. Like I said, molestation and rape spiritually is real. These children can't even articulate what be going on with them because they don't know. Some children will say little things. The man will be trying to explain it to you. And because they don't know how to articulate themselves, we just shrug it off because we don't know what they're talking about. And most times they be trying to tell us something is going on. And then we be so caught up in our own lives, we just want the kids to be quiet. Please, if you do not attempt to do everything in your power to protect your children, both physically and spiritually, you have failed them. I'm serious. You wonder why these children have these behavioral issues? There's a more serious problem going on. Children just don't come out and be screwed up. It could be spiritual. It could be the amount of toxicity in their environment. Like, we all have a lot against us. But these children can't protect themselves. Being an adult, you have a duty to educate yourself. Especially when you start having children. You have a major responsibility to them children. You are their first defense. This is why it's very important. They used to say back in the day, you need to know who you having children with. You need to know the makeup and the genetics of their bloodline, of their family. Do they have certain disorders, diseases, or different things, mental illness in their family? These are questions that should be asked, but in the height of the moment, ain't nobody thinking about none of that when they trying to hunch. That's going to ruin the mood. But if you care and was more aware, you would ask a whole lot of questions before you just be laying down with somebody with the possibility of producing life, which sex is for producing life. It's not just supposed to be a pastime. Although it's gratifying and it's immediate pleasure and all of that, but, I'm not against sex. I'm going to keep it 100. Shit. I don't know no person that's against sex. Unless they just ain't never had no good sex. But that's not the point I'm making. We have to do better, man. This world is constantly changing. And most times, from my point of view, it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. It ain't no telling what type of world these children are going to be left. And some of these children are going to be subjected and romanced by doing all the wrong stuff. And it's because they're spiritually manipulated, environment manipulated. Their food is causing them to be discombobulated. And, man, I was saying that I cannot remember a time where I seen people sitting down to pray over their food. More or less telling their children, say your grace. Since there hasn't been any big mamas present anymore, all of that stuff just went to the wind. And it's really what kept a little spiritual boundaries in the family, really. Because I can show you any family with no big mama, that's from the old school, a real big mama, the family is in chaos. Chaos. But my point is, man, these children need protection, man. These people been getting away with murder for way too long, for way too many generations. And it's because people have been ignorant and unaware. Now, There's so many messengers out here that's telling you guys different things: meditation, diet, exercise, everything, grounding techniques, the importance of sun gazing and getting sun and being out in the earth and different things. All of these things are with purpose. Most times you see certain little informationals here on YouTube that different people saying, and I'm not saying believe everything you hear. Research it for yourself. Once they drop the seed, it's on you to grow it. It's you to have your own interpretation of the information you're given. You should never just take something someone's saying and it be law. We've been lied to our whole lives. I don't want to make this about religion, and I don't want to make it about church, because I grew up in church. As a child, I was very fond of church. It wasn't until I became an adult and became wiser and more mature that I have been exposed to different things. And I've been meant to tell whoever will listen. Like, man, pray over your children, pray over your house, anoint your doors, anoint your window sills. Put salt, sea salt, raw sea salt around your children's beds so they're not attacked in the night while they sleep. Put evil eyes over their bed. Just like you will put the electrical things in the fixtures so the kids won't stick stuff in them and electric. Just like you child-proof your house for physical things, child-proof your house for spiritual things. Teach your children the importance of keeping their space clean, because the Creator does not dwell in anything unclean, dirty. Pray over your house, man, especially when you move into these new places, man. It's important you walk through these places. Quiet yourself and feel the energy in the place, because a lot of these places be having all types of negative spirits and all this stuff in it. And you wondering why ever since we moved to this place, my kid been having nightmares or my kid been acting out. It's just because the parents are unaware. And they're being caught with their pants down over and over and over and over and over again when they're the first defense for their children. But, man, educate yourself. Don't just go by what you told, because a lot of people just regurgitate information with no true understanding. Get the understanding for yourself to where you understand it. Don't allow somebody to tell you what to believe. You seek the truth and believe what you want to believe. Not because, oh, such and such told me and they seem so upstanding and their life is in order. A lot of this stuff be facades, man. Facades. A lot of these people that wear these faces during the day, they so to do, they helpful and all of these things, and in the night, man, they ruining people's lives, man. I shared another video. A dude was going off because he realized that his girl that he had been with, I think 8 years, had put witchcraft on him. He found it in the refrigerator. How would you feel if you're being spiritually manipulated and being a puppet? Because someone has no control over themselves. They want what they want, and that's it. That's all it boils down to. A bunch of selfish people that have been taught the wrong thing to just take what they want. A lot of these households, man, be having mistresses. These dudes be having mistresses and whole other families. Because they not disciplined. They don't have no control over their bodies. And a lot of time, there's spiritual manipulation in play. A lot of time, women closest to you, you see how it be a lot of, oh, my man slept with my cousin. My man slept with my sister. My man slept with my mama. We bring our significant others around people that we trust, that be secretly lusting after them because they ain't got nothing going on in their life. They be coveting your life. And seeing so much of that from 25 to now, it's more and more coming out. More and more is coming out. Dudes be running off with these chicks. Especially if it's a dude that got something going for itself. You know what I'm saying? Knows how to treat his woman. Women will watch that and be like, oh, I want him for myself. Doesn't have anything to do with how fine he is, how much they have in common. No. A lot of these women are bums. I'm sorry. They cannot stand on their own. So they want to take any man that will support them, even if they got to take him from someone else. Same thing for dudes. Your partner be whacking off at night over your girl while you got him sitting in your house watching the game. She serving him and all of this stuff. Like, man, things are not what they seem no more, man. And really, in my opinion, they never been. A lot of us just was not aware. Some people's family are more versed and more skilled in dark magic because it's in their roots. So sometimes you can say they have the disadvantage over the naive people that wasn't taught nothing like this. They only seen it in movies and deemed it as, oh, that's not real, that's fiction. Stop letting these people play on your top and tell you what to believe, tell you what to think. You are able-bodied and can think for yourself. I don't care if it's tradition in your family. How does that tradition make you feel? Do that really feel like something you want to be involved with? Or are you just going along because you don't want to be the odd one out? That's crazy. But what else did I was told to say? It was another occasion, you know, and I don't like to share too much of things that I experience sometimes because people are so close-minded that, you know, I kind of feel sometimes I'm wasting my breath. You know, and I know for a fact I'm constantly spiritually attacked because I run my mouth too much. So I be trying my best to censor things sometimes, but I be getting nudged and nudged and nudged and nudged because I have these certain experiences for a reason. One day, after I woke, and I've been spiritually awakened since, I think I was starting to wake up in 2020. But I can say for sure, I was spiritually awoke 21 when I started experiencing all the things. But when I was a child, I was always really spiritually involved. I could see a lot of things that couldn't nobody see. My mom could too. But we was always surrounded by naive people. And then again, I can't even say they was naive. They were trying to trick us into what we seen, what we know to be true was outlandish. Like we were off. We were crazy. And I'm not going to get too much in that because I don't want to keep bringing these people up. But a lot of people around you be way more spiritually involved than you know. And they'll play on your top and make you think you crazy just so they can continue to play in your face. When I was little, spirits always came to me. Some of them wasn't nice neither. Because people that are in spirit form that have crossed over and transitioned, they're attracted to the light. It makes them feel alive. So quite naturally, they vibrate towards light beings, people that can see, that have that light inside of them, the light of God. And it's something that people are born with. Every person that has woke up spiritually, they were already spiritually involved. Different things just wasn't activated in them. And depending upon the family they was in, they didn't have anybody nourishing them spiritually because most time people didn't know. I know a lot of people in the South, they knew. Voodoo, witchcraft is heavy in the South. Some negative, well, majority negative, and some good. Some people actually use it for what it's for. Not to manipulate, steal, and take advantage of people that are unaware. That's like a bully picking on somebody way less than their size, man. It's unfair. And these people have been taken advantage for, I don't know how, generations and generations. But I'm going to get back to the point. The point is the children. Because y'all leaving y'all children open to be victims. And then later on, you got all these jail calls and children that are acting out seem always angry. And all of these different things are highly sexual. If you got a child that's very promiscuous, young, and you keep saying, where did they get that from? There's several possibilities. Someone around them every day is messing with them. Or someone is messing with them spiritually in their sleep. Everything that can be done in the physical world can be done spiritually. People feed you shit in your sleep. People have sex with you in your sleep. This is when when the spiritual man is defenseless because you're asleep, especially if you're unaware spiritually. Salt comes from the earth. And it has so many uses. But one of the main uses is protection, spiritual protection. Oil. Spiritual protection. Now, a lot of church people know. Anoint your house with oil and pray over it. That's not nothing that's new. Just like salt ain't new. But certain things were taught to us and certain things were brushed to the wayside. They're not going to arm you with what you need. They want to keep you defenseless. Because someone is capitalizing off your energy, your life force, you know. Some of these old people be siphoning their youth from other people, from children, and from others. You see some of these people, I'm saying something. Please do not mix and match my words. I'm saying some people. look very young for their age because they're siphoning energy spiritually from others. Some people look very young for their age because God has anointed them. But most people can't tell which is which because they don't have the eyes to see. Just like with tarot and crystals and all these things, people have said it's wicked. So everybody, oh, that's wicked. That's not of God. Who are you to say what is of God? Especially anything that comes from the earth. Why is it here? Copper. Copper is here for protection. Do you know how strong and potent copper is wearing it on your body as a form of protection? Crystals, salt water. But they will tell you these things is wicked because they want you disarmed. And everybody, grown people, because auntie or whoever told them, oh, that's not of God, it's wicked. And a lot of times, please look at the people that's telling you this stuff. Please look at the people that's telling you what's wicked. How are they living their life? Because I can't recall that stuff coming out of anybody that was an upstanding citizen. I'm going to keep it a buck. We got to get out of this just letting people tell us whatever in this law. We'll ride and die behind what someone else has told us. And it could just be because they're ignorant in their sleep. But the point of the matter is, you have your own mind. You have your own spirit. You have your own soul. Think for yourself. You don't know something, you don't understand it, research it. Research it. You can get 1 or 2 books and compare them with each other, and you'll start seeing the cracks in things, even with different versions of the Bible. You can take the King James Bible, the Quran, and the Ethiopian Bible, put them up side by side, read them. Some of them going to have the same points, and some of them going to be way off left field. You can, when you really look at it, you can see what the agenda is. Like I said earlier, we live in a patriarchal system. So everything is male dominated. But, I want you guys to protect these babies, man. If I could go to everybody's house that had a little one, I wouldn't do it myself. Because the parents just won't, they don't know, or they just don't care to. And then some of the parents be into all types of stuff themselves. You'll be surprised how many of these no good parents have children to sacrifice them. Or they have children and to get themselves out of certain wicked things that they do, they'll put their children up. Better them than them. Cowards. These people will sell their soul. What make you think they won't sell their children? You've seen it in the news where women then sold their kids and all types of stuff that happen. It's bigger than that. You looking in a little window. You got to expand that because what you're looking at is way more deeper than what you think. A lot of these children that are going missing is for spiritual reasons, sacrificial reasons. And I'm not going, this stuff upsets me, I don't like really talking about too many things, so I'm going to get off my soapbox. But if you love your children, man, you'll be willing to look into it. I love you so much. Peace.